Making your own earrings is so empowering. I love it when I can go to my drawer and pick a pair that I've made that matches my outfit and or my mood. And having the right supplies to make your own earrings is very important, whether you are doing some simple stringing on a head pin and adding some beads to really getting wild and funky and tearing up some old denim and adding a cute little finding piece here, this crown, adding a bead. This is really fun and a really great way to express yourself freely. I love, love, love that. And I super love being able to weave with a fabric. And so, again, having those proper tools that you need from round nose pliers to bent nose, maybe even some flat nose, your standard hand tools, just handy so that you can put on your fish hooks. And especially if you're going to use any type of wire, I mean, really, the possibilities are endless when it comes to making your own earrings. And one thing, the important thing that you need is your base, right? So your loom. And believe it or not, this tiny little itsy bitsy loom, all right, makes the most wonderful earrings. I've made all of the earrings that I just showed you, except for, of course, the ones that are just simply done by hand with the Wisdom Warrior earring loom. And so when you buy these looms, you do get two, okay, because you have to have a matching pair, right? It does come with a tassel maker. And Stacie, I believe, is going to speak to that, which, by the way, Stacie Hecht is joining us today. She made these absolutely gorgeous cubed earring beads. They are spectacular. They have a really fun block pattern. So they almost have like a cool quilted vibe, but they've got fringe. So they go from homey and quilted to like super sexy and sassy. And so I'm really, really excited that she is here today to show us how to actually make them. And so without further ado, I am going to let Stacie take over the beading mat and get started to show you how to make these fabulous, gorgeous earrings. So take it away, Stacie.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you, Jules. So this is the earring that we are going to make today. And the way that I'm going to start is we're going to make this color blocked pattern on the very cute earring loom. And so first I'm going to talk just briefly about how I put the warps on this loom. Let me pull this out. We'll start with that. I followed basically what there's a video that Danielle Wicks has, and I worked it pretty much the same way. But since I am using these 1.8 millimeter cubes, I did a couple of experiments and actually found that if I did warped 3 in a row and then skipped a notch, and then did 3 and then skipped a notch, it actually made it a little bit easier to do. You can do it with doing every one, but I found this to make it a little bit easier. I have 10 warp threads on here in that pattern, and I tied it on and tied it off over here at this notch, which will make it easier later if you want to do the pulling in thread technique. And we were just talking before we started that I'm shamelessly stealing a technique from Danielle Wicks, which is I've had most of my experience on the original Jewel Loom, which I love because the tension is amazing. And if you want to get a little bit better tension on your warp threads, this tassel maker also doubles as a way, if you insert that in there, to give you a little bit better tension. So what I do to start is I'm going to grab 3 of the green squares, which are sort of a little bit off screen. I think I got them on now. Followed by 3 of the blue, and then 3 of the purple. And what I did was, on this one, I actually pulled it too far. Let me try that again. I was in too much of a hurry. Green. Things always seem to happen when you're on video. When I'm not on video, they never happen. So you get to watch me pick up beads again. Apologies for that. Okay. Let me get my threads sorted out a little bit better here to avoid that happening again. So I'm gonna hold on to the end this time. So I'm gonna bring them under, and I actually just started over on the right hand side with the purple. And the first row, I will admit, is a little bit fiddly. And it was fiddly if I didn't skip either, but this made it a little bit easier. So I actually kind of did 2 or 3 at a time. And so I'm pushing the beads up in between the warp threads. I promise the others are way easier. So I've got 6 of them. There we go. And then I am putting my loom needle through so that it is above the warp threads. And then I'm going to move the earring so it doesn't become part of this. And I'm just going to pull that through. I don't need that much extra. So that is, here you can see your first row. And we're going to do 2 more rows identical to this. So again, grab 3 green, 3 blue, and then 3 purple. And I promise you the second row is a lot easier. And these are actually, I'm using a Miyuki 1.8 millimeter cube. And I got these from Danielle Wick's jewelry shop. She's got a couple of different mixes, so if you're looking for a place to get them, that is an option. So again, I'm bringing them underneath and pressing them up so that they kind of pop into space. And then just again, bringing my needle through. You just have to kind of do it slowly the first row or 2. And then your warp threads will kind of get into their, evenly distributed little spaces. So we're going to do 1 more row like that. And then we're actually just going to shift the colors over by 1 and repeat. And you'll basically just keep doing that. And I actually like it. They have kind of like a weird, kind of like silky feel, unlike regular seed beads, because they have this square finish. It'd be a good fidget toy too. So let me bring this over here. And again, all you do is push them through. See, they're getting easier. They're behaving slightly better. See, got them all in one go. Oh, except for one, he decided he's not. Okay. That is one thing about this piece, is it does want to sometimes grab your thread. But let me just get them off of there. So, so I just shifted everything over one. So in the next row, I did the purples, the greens, and then the blues. So I am going to move on and grab 3 purple. Three green, and then 3 blue. Unfortunately, I have this done kind of cooking style, so you don't actually have to watch me do all of these rows. Yep. So that one, apparently I didn't get, so I'm going to back through. See, these things only happen when I'm doing this stuff live. So I'm just pushing them up to make sure I'm getting them all. And then I'm just going to go back and make sure I get this guy through this time. Come on there for me. Well, I've showed you now how to fix lots of assorted disasters that can happen. So, it does not want to stay. I see. It looks like that got it. And now I'm creating a knot. So this is actually, what I've realized here is this is actually above the warp thread. We want it to come through below. So see, now it's below. And that may have been what happened before. Okay, now we have got it. So you just continue doing this until you have 4 blocks of 3 rows. And I'm going to actually set those aside. And this is what you end up with once you've done all of your different rows of color blocking.
Hey, you know what, Stacie? Can you hear me?
I can.
So maybe Joan can add our faces really quick so I can do a proper intro very fast, like, hey.
Hey.
Hey, that is so great. Like, I love that the first row didn't work out seamlessly. You know, because it's part,
like comedy of errors.
yeah, but it is what can happen. And the fact that you just calmly, like, okay, you know, this is what sometimes can happen and we're just going to make it right. So listen, everyone, Stacie is such a perfect example, and just correct me wherever I am wrong. But I believe, Stacie, that your looming career is very, very new, correct? Kinda, maybe? The
Yeah,
eyes are up in the air.
yeah.
Okay.
I did a few pieces years ago.
Okay.
In full transparency, they usually resulted in language. So I decided that it like wasn't my thing, and I think you and Danielle talked me into trying it again. And
Oh, good.
it's been going a lot better. I've probably done
Yeah.
4 or 5 pieces since then.
Okay,
And I
great.
was on
Well,
my best behavior because I'm live, because normally there probably would have been some language involved.
oh, well, I love it. I love that you literally just in that barely 14 minutes there, probably solid 10, were able to really show very casually, like, hey, if this happens, you know, this is how you correct it. The fact that you didn't pick up all of the beads and you were able to correct it. And, you know, that's something that I really love about bead looming, because I feel like 9.9 times out of 10, there can be a correction. And so, you know, and then even the way that you set up your loom, learning from Danielle, and it's such a cool community of people that, you know, we're beating on the jewel looms, and we kind of all do it a little bit differently, but we all get to the same place. And then along the way, we get to share, how we got there. So I am super thrilled to have you finally. We've been trying to do this for quite a while, and I'm so honored and like thrilled that you wanted to do this. I think that you're a great designer. I know you do a lot of off loom work. And we
Mhm.
had the pleasure of being with each other in Tucson, getting to know one another better, and of course, shopping and sharing our love for gemstones. So, over the top grateful for your project. I love it. I really, really, really love it. It's so beautiful and great and doable. You did those 3 rows awfully quick.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. So I think it's a great example of how we can really inspire newer people to like, hey, you know what? You can make a pair of earrings. Like once you get your rhythm down, I bet you could get a pair made probably within 60 to 90 minutes, just depending on if you're able to focus that time to it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
And
So,
it was
really
cool
quick.
too
Mhm.
because Danielle had taught me that with a 10-0 seed bead to do this like 3 warps and then skip a slot. And
Yep.
I had done the first one. There was a lot more fussing with that first row when I did every single one. And
Okay.
so when I started this second one here, I decided, I'm going to try and see what happens if I act like this is a 10-0 bead because
Yeah.
I kind of put them up against each other and I'm like, yeah, that looks more
Yeah.
like that size.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Totally
there's
works.
just some trial and error you have to do.
And that's the thing with looming. It's just all fun. Like you just take stuff and you see what works. And, that is what I love, love, love about creating on the looms. And so, Stacie, I know that you have a lot going on in your design world. And so you do things with Danielle and I know that, have you been on with Neela?
I was on with Neela this past Sunday,
Okay,
so I
that's
did
right. Okay.
Silver Silk Sunday.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So, really quick before you get started again, anything coming up this weekend that we should know about where you're going to be? I think I saw something with you and
Jennifer Miller.
Jennifer Miller.
Yeah, so she and I are doing a live with Jesse James Bead's Ombre collection
Oh,
tomorrow
cool. Okay.
at 8 p.m. Eastern, so 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay,
And
great.
that will be on Jennifer Miller's YouTube channel, which
Okay.
is Bella Rain Jewelry.
Okay. Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, tell her I said hello.
Will do.
And I'm going to let you get back to making your earrings.
Okay.
So, we'll see you in a few.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So we'll pretend that I did all of the rows. And I already did this just to make life easy. I cut so I just cut basically where the knot is because I've learned again from Danielle that you can, and these take a little bit more zhuzhing than on the original bead loom. So let's figure out which one's looser, getting them off, because I want to pull them in and make my life simple. So this one takes a little bit of working to get them off, but they do come off. And I don't want to be too harsh because I don't want to break the little wooden peg things. You kind of have to go back and forth because once you loosen one on one side, the other side gets looser. That's kind of what I'm finding. You have to find the loose ones. Okay, we are free of the loom. And I will admit, the first time I did this, I watched Danielle do it once, and I'm like, oh, that's so easy. I can just do that. And I started pulling all kinds of threads, and it didn't work. So, so I sometimes pull them by hand. So I'll tell you what I'm doing. That would help. So I grab the single loose one, and I just kind of hold the piece down and pull it in. And I just pull it till it's kind of flush with that top bead. And if you over pull, you can kind of just straighten it out. It'll kind of curl up on you. And then you have to switch sides. So that's the trick. And then I go to the other side. Sometimes it pulls the next one too, but that's okay. So what I'm doing is just pulling this, so I only have to weave in 2 threads. I probably should have done this beforehand, because Danielle has some really good videos on it, but you unfortunately now get to watch me do it. See, Danielle, I've been trained. It gets easier as you go too, except you get some really long threads, which is actually nice because I use these threads to do the embellishment along the sides and put the little loop on to connect it to the ear wire. So anytime I don't have to weave in a thread or add an additional thread is a huge win. I'm actually one of those people when I bead weave by hand that has like the giant huge piece of thread so I can avoid adding thread. Okay, so we're at our last one. This is it. Let's see here. That one does not want to go today. There it is. Is this one. See? Got the ring light too. And the thread. Let's get this thread out of here. Ta-da! So we can use these super long threads here to do our embellishment, and then we can just weave in the shorter ones. And I just realized I need to grab another needle. So I'll go with this today. I also learned from Meredith Roddy, Bead On. I would used to spend like forever trying to get thread, and I didn't mention my thread. So I am using Wildfire, the 0.006. I'm using the black for this. I've used Fireline as well, and both work just fine. So let's see if I can get this. Ooh, I'm 3 for 3 on threading needles today. So let me get this to a reasonable working distance, because so what I did, and I'll show half of this because it's pretty repetitive. So what I did to do this edge is I started at coming out of the side of my bottom bead.
Hey, Stacie.
Yeah.
Can you move your hand over and up a little? Cause
Okay.
Yeah, because you went off. We couldn't see you.
So
No, that's okay. That's okay. Go.
So I have a 15, a cube that matches the row there, and then another 15. And the 15s that I'm using also come from Danielle. Probably should have wove that in first so it stays out of my way. And they are a light rose transparent 15. They're like tiny, and they're probably not the best for being on camera because I can barely see them on the mat and I can barely see them on the camera. So that is not coming out of that one. So I am just going to go around and make sure I'm actually coming out of the bead, or it will not look right. So now I know for sure I'm coming out. So let me pick that up again. So 15, a green cube to match, another 15. Thought I had it. And then I'm going to skip one of those beads on the edge and go in through. And then I am just going to come back up. As you can tell, I'm more of a seed bead weaver. I actually started 15 years ago making jewelry, bead weaving of all things. So we're going to just do the same thing again. So a 15 in the almost unable to be seen color, a purple cube. I can't even see where the hole is to get these on, and another 15. And so we're just going to go back in here to kind of create like a picot edge that kind of just matches. And then you just continue to do the same thing. So I'll do those so we can get up to the side, and I'll show you what I did to connect the earring. So do the same thing there, and then you just continue coming back out. And then this will be the last one. And you'll just do exactly the same thing on the other edge to complete that one. But I'm going to show this last one, followed by what I did to create a loop. So to create the loop, I actually went through these first couple beads, and then I'm going to actually go through the second two as well. And I just made my loop, and the loop here, I'll show you. There's just a little loop here to attach basically an ear wire to. And so I use just 6 of the tiny little size 15 seed beads to do that. And I actually went through them twice to reinforce them. So let's pick up the 6 if I can see well enough to get them. I'm going to put black on next time, not something that matches well. I think I have 7. So I actually just go around and back through this one bead to create a loop. And then there's a little space here between the 2 sets of 3 beads, and that's where I basically put my ear wire in. So I can do this, but I went around again just to reinforce it, which of course is, and I do recommend actually weaving in these little threads before you do some of this because they just get in the way. And then that was weird. I disappeared there for a minute. So that's just being reinforced. And then what you would do is just continue along this top row, come out, and then finish the other side. And so I won't actually go through and do all of that because I want to show what I did to create the fringe. But we will need to work with this piece with all the crazy little threads on it. So I created fringe, and the way that I did it was I did columns of the color that it was coming out of. So you have 3 purple, 3 blue, and 3 green, kind of to match that bottom block of color. And I can show you what I did, but I'll kind of talk you through it first. So the first one is 12 cubes. 2 of these, let me pick them up and show them to you. These are triangle spacers that I think are 2.8 millimeter triangle spacers. I got them from Danielle's shop. I don't know, they are easier to see. They're little flat, teeny tiny triangles. So I did the 12 cubes, 2 of the spacers, and then another cube. And then I added 4 to the next row. So this one's 16, this one's 20, this one's 24, and then the middle one is 30, 2 triangles, and then 1 on the end. And then I step back down to 24, 20, 16, and 12. And I'm just going to pull this needle off of this thread for a second. I don't find that Wildfire or Fireline makes a really good fringe. You can do it, it just doesn't have this kind of like flow to it. So you need something that's a little bit softer. But I find if you try and either seed bead weave or bead loom with a softer thread, it's a lot more complicated. So I kind of bite the bullet and go with switching threads. So what I am using, and I know Danielle likes 1G, which I am going to have to try, but the one that I found is pretty good and doesn't fray too much and is pretty easy to work with is the Good thread. And you can see it has kind of more this sewing thread, kind of flowy consistency. So on the end that's the opposite of, here's our loop. We're going to be down here. So basically what I did was, you basically just have to get your thread on. And this is where Danielle, I think she's doing more of them, but she and I differ in opinion. I learned to bead with knots, and I've never ever been able to convince myself that not making a knot is okay. It always worries me. So I'm trying to catch one of these. I keep catching a bead too. I'm trying to catch one of the warp threads. Maybe I'll try up. Yep, I caught one. Yeah, I caught one there. So I'm just going to do a half hitch knot to get it on there. So basically, I just want to secure it on here. What is going on here? This may not be fun. I'm trying to figure out what I did. I've got an extra thread piece here. Okay. That's not good. Okay. So we're just going to start it from there and I'll cut that off later. I am just having not so good luck today, but you get to see all the things that go wrong and how you recover.
We can't see. I got to bring you up.
This is going to be like the episode that Jules uses. That's like, oh, here's when all the bad stuff happens. What you do.
Yeah,
we should send her a prize because she didn't use any 4-letter words.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the thing is that, you know,
I don't
everybody,
know what's up with me today.
yeah,
But
it's
I'm
not,
normally not this prone to like drama.
yeah,
But
don't worry about it. It's really the truth of what can happen. And the thing is, we're not in class physically, and so we don't have an opportunity to share with people, you know, what might happen. So when something does happen, I love sticking with it and showing the rescue of it. So I think this is great. I
okay.
don't,
Well,
you know, this is
these are the
something that
things
can
I edit
happen.
out in videos.
Yeah, well, I leave it all in.
Yeah. So I am just basically getting this.
Yeah. I just need you to come back up into the screen though. We can't see. That's okay.
I know, I'm like pulling it right to my face because I'm like, what is going on Okay.
There you go. That's a great spot.
Okay. I'm just going to start over here. And then I've got it. So it's not going anywhere. It's on here. I also have all these extra threads, which is not helping me
Yeah.
either. Normally I have fewer threads to cause all kinds of drama. Okay. We are going to start. And we're going to start on the purple side. And so we are going to pick up 12 purple cubes. I'm double checking on my sheet. That's what I said, because we don't need any extra do-overs today. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention because I'm not a good counter. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So get those on. We're gonna grab 2 of the flat triangle spacers and then another of the purple cubes. And we are going to bring that up. And then I actually like to do this part laying on a surface. So let me just move all of my little bead string friends to hang out a different place away from me. I have a stray bead. So this bottom bead, this purple cube, you're going to skip. And then you're going to go back through every single one of the other beads. Sometimes you can catch most of them or not. Usually I can catch more than this, but you just want to catch them all. Yeah. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble, because I'm doing this at a slightly different angle so that I can be on the camera. So I just get some of them and pull through and then come back and get the rest. So some days you can get more than others. Grab these. And then get the last 2. And I'll show you what I do then. Okay, so I've gone back through all of my beads and I want to get this piece out of my way. So what you're going to do is like snug this up against the loom piece. And then the way that I did it is, so I'm coming out this side over here. I'm going to go back through the other way, and that's going to center it on the bead. I have to do it the other way. I have apparently weird habits. And this piece is actually quite tight. So here we go. So what you're going to do is just make sure it's snug up against the piece. You can kind of hold the end bead and do that. And then I'm just going to come back down and do your next one. So the next one will have an additional 4 beads, so it'll be 16, which is what I'm working on now, same color. So 4, 5, 6. Got 10. So I have 16 of the purple beads, and I actually just chose to go 4 because I felt like it made a much more pronounced gradation in the fringe, so I like that actually just better. So then I added the same 2 spacers and our last purple cube. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Which is come back up through. I can usually get a lot more of them, so I have to think about, I must be doing something differently subconsciously when I'm not on screen, so. I just have a lot going on here too. Let's get those. So I'm going to just go through the rest here. Got them that time. And again, you want to just make sure that there's no gap. And then go back around. I'm just making sure it doesn't catch anything here. And then I'm just trying to get my needle in place for the next row. So I need to go through 2 on the next row and then come on back down to pick up. Sorry for hitting the camera there. My next one. So you really just continue this. I don't know, Juliana, if you want me to keep doing them or.
Yeah, no, let's, because I do have some questions. So John, if you want to bring us back up.
Hey.
Oop.
That's one or the other. It's not both of us.
Yeah, it's always so funny. But so I think that what first came to my mind was, I've left the base of my project on the loom before and have added fringe while the piece was still on the loom.
Really? I have never tried that.
That's all I've ever done.
Okay.
Because that whole technique of taking the warps off of a loom, that's a Danielle thing. And I didn't really do that until I learned that from Danielle. And so my entire 30 some years of beading, if fringe was involved, it was always, I would do it while it was still on the loom. And so, I mean, I don't think it's right or wrong. I think you could go either way. But what I do love.
Are you using like your weft thread to make the fringe? I'm trying to think about this. I have to look at your videos now on that.
Yeah, you'd have to go. Yeah. And you know what? Probably I'm just wondering whether or not there's even, I mean, I think it works really well. I do like that technique with the earrings because it keeps it clean. But basically I was literally just sewing the fringe. I'm trying to see what I might have.
Okay.
Like all of this was done on the lamp while it was still on the loom. As I take down my entire display.
Do you think that's easier to do?
I don't think that it's either. I don't think it's like a deal breaker. I think that you can.
I'm just fascinated here. I'm going to have to try it now, like compare and contrast.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think the way that you're doing it is great for earrings because it keeps it clean. Like you want your earrings to look nice and clean and sharp. And by pulling the warps, you don't have any straggling warps. You're not going to have like any knots. Like it's really clean. And I would do that. I would do exactly what you did. I just was like watching you and thinking, oh, like in every fringe project I've ever done, It's
Yeah.
while the piece is still on the loom. So it just goes to show you, you can do it either way.
Okay. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but that just came to my mind. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." But
I
it
would
makes
bet
sense.
too that you can also do the edging while it's still on the loom too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely the picot stitch, and oh my
Yeah.
heck, I didn't even realize that you had added a picot, and I just I love picot so very much. I feel like it's like such a great way to finish off a piece and make it look really classy. And so I didn't even notice that the earrings had that until you started to do it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's small. I just
yeah,
thought it looked a little bit better than that kind of
yeah,
flat edge.
yeah. The great thing is that there's just so there's tips and techniques, and there's different ways of doing things. And I love that this video is just so juicy because it's full of all of those components, right?
Mhm.
And for somebody who maybe has been doing their fringe while it's on the loom, they'll learn, oh, I can do it while it's off. So, and Gloria's saying we need to see a tutorial by me. Yeah. Um, well, let's see. Yeah, no, I really love the way you did it because it's more clean. You know,
Okay.
Danielle's technique that she shared with us with pulling the warps off of the teeth like that is just it's award winning, right? Like
Yeah, it really is.
it really
Because
is.
the first piece that I did since I picked this up, it was a bracelet, and I had like 7 different threads to weave in. And when I saw her do that, I was like, I'm sold, because the last thing I want to do, like I said, is
Yeah.
add thread, weave in
Yeah.
thread.
Yeah.
So I've
And
adopted that.
also, just to be clear, like, so you have to imagine this piece was on the loom, right? And then the fringe, the legs were sewn in while this was on the loom. So there was no extra warps or anything
Yeah.
like that. So it made sense. I think every time you do something, there's going to be well, what makes sense? What's going to make it look most clean? And I hands down love how you did the earrings. I just wanted
Thank
to
you.
ask because it was like, oh, that's really interesting because I had no clue you were going to you were going to take the thing off before the fringe was on. I'm like, oh my god, but what about the legs? Now you had it under control, and that is the best part.
Sorry to have scared you for a moment there,
No,
but
I just
and
I
that just,
really
I don't
yeah
know, that's how my brain decided it
yeah,
had to be done. But
but I love
I
that.
also started as a seed bead weaver, so that's probably like where my brain goes.
I tell you, I know a off loomer from 100 miles away. Like in class, when I used to teach classes, I would watch somebody and I'd be like, "You're an off loomer, aren't you?" Because just the way that they would do things and kind of like go through and back through again. I'm like, no, no, you only need to go through once. But in their mind, with off loom work, they would go through twice, and so it was just precious. But again, I'm just going to go back to like working on a loom is just so freeing. Like
Yeah.
you can do things or not. And that's the really cool thing. Danielle says off loom or off the rocker. Yeah, that goes for both on and off loom people, right? We're just it's such a great gift. I mean, beading is just a great gift. So but do you
Yeah.
wanna hold up that finished pair really that finished, the one finished earring real quick? Just so everybody can see. Yeah, it's just so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous, and the image that you sent over to me is just so great because we can follow the pattern, and, people can mix up their colors. If they don't wanna do that, they can go with any other what is it, 3 colors, right? So 3
Yeah,
different colored beads, um, easy to do, right? Just yeah, I love
exactly.
it. So good.
It would work with something other than cubes too. I'm
Yeah,
willing to bet you could go with a size 10 seed bead
yeah.
around if you don't
Oh,
want to get cubes.
okay.
Danielle also has some triangles that she's got. I think they're 10 triangles. I'll bet you could do it with those.
Oh, that would be really cool to watch.
The
Yeah.
other thing that I can do is I will finish at least one, if not both of these. I'm thinking one might be a pendant because I'm not sure I need 4 of these.
Oh,
But I
Oh,
will post a picture, and what I can do is share how many I had in each column of the fringe,
oh,
and
good idea.
also share some information on exactly what sizes I used. So if
Oh,
somebody
that's
wants
great.
to replicate it,
Yeah,
then they've
that's
got all the information.
yeah, that's a great, great offer. Thank you for doing that. I'm sure everybody will appreciate that. But, it is pretty much like once you get the idea of it, it's pretty simple. But yeah, to know exactly the count, especially like if people don't want them to be super long and sexy, maybe a little shorter. That way they can kind of do some math and be like, you know what, I want them half that length. So they'll just cut their beads in half,
As
which
you
I
know,
never say.
I was gonna say, as you know, I'm also like kind of your height, so I
Yes.
normally don't go with like super long earrings because they're probably bigger than me.
Yeah, and I do. Like Maria made me a pair of long earrings. I don't know if I can get them out of here. I took them to the show with me this past week because I just love. But these are super long. Oh gosh, look at how long these are.
Oh wow, those are
Yeah, but
pretty.
that's me all day long. Like go big or go home. Like my hair and my earrings have to be good.
Danielle does too. She likes long as well.
She does. She does. I don't think you had any long. I got the pleasure of seeing Daniel in person for like 3 days at the show in Seattle, and so, that was quite a treat, but I don't think she had long earrings on. So, gonna have to find out what's up with that.
Yeah.
She wasn't representing the long earring crowd. But I love those, Stacie. I'm so, so happy that it finally worked out to where
Yeah,
you could
me
come
too.
on and be with the Jewel Loom community. I love that, you're really showing the truth of your journey with the original Jewel Loom and then getting into the earring loom and really kind of showing the different ways that both of those looms can be made. I know you love the original blue as we all do. She's our favorite, but I was super stoked when you wanted to work with the earring looms because of course Danielle loves those as well. So
Yeah, she made it look a lot easier. But I will be honest. Like looming it the first time was kind of challenging, but it's gotten
yeah,
a lot easier. I've done it 3 or 4 times now, and
that's
I've
great.
kind of figured out what the tricks are. She had
Yeah.
to get up too early. She forgot about her ears.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, because she was driving into the show every day from Seattle and so that's too funny. And it was so cute because she was demonstrating the jewel loom and several times I walked up when she was in the middle of that. I had no idea. And it was just too cute because then she'd be like, and the inventor's standing right behind you. And I was like, oh my God. So it was a lot of fun to watch people and watch Danielle do her magic. And so, but Stacie, you're wonderful. You're so sweet and kind, and you're a great designer. And it's just an honor that you even picked up my loom and chose to make something with it. And I'm thrilled. So I hope that you're inspired some more and that you come back.
Definitely. I'd love to. And thank you so much for like 6 months ago, like saying you should use the loom
Yeah.
because I
Every
just
once in a
needed
while,
that little push.
yeah. Every once in a while I'll do that. If I see somebody doing something, I'll just like sneak in their DMs. Like, "Hey, you need to loom." But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's so good. It's so fun. Thank you again for just being so raw and genuine with the way that you use the loom and stuff happens, and it's great that you can teach the audience how to make it right. So all good. All good stuff. So where everybody can find you under your not your full name, but Stacie, how do you do your social media? I don't want to say
So,
it wrong.
um, probably my biggest place that I am is on Instagram, and I'm
Yes.
at Stacie Rabbit,
Oh,
STACIE RABBIT. My mom had
okay.
to decide I was gonna be a Stacy with an IE.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so Instagram is like your home.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm
you
also at
feed.
Stacie Rabbit on YouTube. I'm
Okay.
starting to try and do more of that.
Good.
and Stacie Rabbit Jewelry on Facebook. So I'm kind of in all the places, but
Okay.
the place I'm most frequently posting is Instagram.
Okay, well, that's great. And Joe just shared the Instagram handle.
Thank you,
And
Joe.
yeah, yeah, we'll definitely go and give Stacie a follow and a like and some love and subscribes and all the things that we need to do. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Jewel Loom channel here. And we always love your feedback. If you have any questions, please leave them, and do our best to come back around and answer those. And if I don't have the answer, then I'll reach out to Stacie and ask her, and we will get you dialed in. Danielle says Stacie's jewelry is beautiful, and I
Aw,
totally agree.
thank you both.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good stuff. So next Thursday, I'm not 100. Let's see what's happening next Thursday. I don't know if, oh wait, I better get in the right month. Is this April? This is April.
Still April.
Okay. So I don't know if we have Creative Soul next Thursday or not. So it could be me, and that's fine. I'm like, I need to do something. I just been traveling so much this year for trade shows and stuff, but yeah, so we'll let you know what next Thursday holds, whether or not it's a Creative Soul video by Danielle, which the April and currently May are sold out. And so unless somebody leaves their spot, I won't have any openings, but you can put your email into the Creative Soul where it says sold out, and then that comes to me, and then I monitor like when everybody comes through, and then if somebody leaves, I go to the first person, etc. So that's the deal on the Creative Soul spiel. And I think that's pretty much it. We know that we're going to lose Joan here in 3 minutes because she turns into a pumpkin at 8 o'clock. She's like Cinderella. She's like with the pumpkin carriage. So again, thank you. And oh, Danielle says I'll have it ready. I didn't mean to put you on spot. So it sounds like we'll have that dialed in. So either way, it's all good. Stacie, thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really great. And I'm sure we will talk and we will see each other.
Yes.
Much love to the Jewel Loom community and for everybody showing up, and for all the new folks watching. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us on the channel. We have a beautiful community that just loves to share what we do with our beads and make pretty stuff. So it's pretty easy peasy. So all right, we will see you again, and thank you all for being here. So have a beautifully blessed rest of your week and a great fun weekend. How about that?